Hello everybody, my name is Kriva and welcome back to Europa Universalis 3, where we already have an event. My lord, we are short of money, and one of your advisors has suggested selling off titles of nobility to anyone who can afford to pay. It would bring in lots of money if we do, but it would devalue the idea of nobility and perhaps upset the existing aristocratic families, should we do this. Now, gold is the sign of nobility, which means gain 165 ducats and plutocracy 1, or gain 1 stability and aristocracy gain 1. Well, yeah, it's not going to be that. I want the money. Definitely. And here we have a peace offer by Pomerania. Oh, we are still at war with Hungary, etc. Sue for peace. They would not accept my white peace. That's too bad. Then again, England is busy over here. Hope they can actually beat something up. And in the meantime, let's switch it back to the political map mode as well, as start building some buildings. Or how's our... No, we'll wait for production to kick in, and then we can actually build the better buildings using our really big treasury now. So we are sieging this rebel scum over here, and we have won. Now, diplomatically we are guaranteeing Avignon's dependence, and they are allied with Burgundy. Now, would it be that Burgundy does have some of our cores actually, but we have good relationships, and they are part of the Empire, which is not going to be the best idea to fight right now. France is at this point not strong enough to counter the might of the Holy Roman Empire. And we have Brittany revolts. And we already have an army here, so let's move them in for the kill. Now we do have transfers possible through... Do we have these guys? No, yes, we have Milan. Just let's see. Hey, we can now, if we would so like, move troops into Hungary. But on the other hand, it's going... Pomerania now wants to go for a white peace. And I don't mind doing that. So now we only have these guys. Where are you going? Armor. Let's follow. I'll follow you, deep, deep, honey. Or something like that. It's a good song though, so... After we finish production, government is going automatically because of our freaking free investments and our advisor. So after that, we're going to put all our focus back into land because we want stronger armies as well. So now that they are ready, what are these anyway? Provençal nationalists. They want to re-establish the Provence. And now they want a white peace, which is fine by my standards, and we're back at peace. Just have to watch out for those silly rebels here. We can now build a constable. Now what a constable does, it increases the direct tax by 25%. And the direct tax is the amount we get in a year. So in any city which has a huge tax base, such as Paris, adding a constable will give us 25% bonus at the end of the year in money. So, and one good way to check how to build, to know where you build it, you go to the production tab and see for how much tax, and just start building them here. And we can build 5 at this point in time. We have the money, we have the ability to do all of this. So now we have 5 constables on the way. They always take a full year to build though. But I think it's time to up the speed again. Now we are at the required reputation. We just need to wait until January of the next year to simply try to annex them. Okay, the Papal Conclave has elected Honorius V. I've never heard of a pope named Honorius. Now, we can demand Orléans to be annexed, that we annex them, and it's very unlikely. It's just really tough for them to accept it. And very unlikely doesn't mean they will say no. It most likely means they say no. And in this case, it simply means our relations dropped by 50. If they had accepted, all my relations with all my other vassals would have dropped by... Is it it's vassal? Yeah. My relationship with all other vassals would have dropped by 100, though. So this is not that bad. You just have to work your way back up with them in terms of relationship. And then you can try and try again until they actually accept. It's going to be a lot easier when 4 comes around. I've actually looked at the release date. It's going to be the 13th of August. So that's just less than 3 weeks now. So we need to make sure that we... Yeah, now they do accept the royal marriage. And I think it gives a bigger chance to actually do the annexation too. But basically in EU4, what you'll be able to do is actually... Ooh, that's what I was waiting for. And you guys go fight. I actually was building my building there as well. Now where are they going? To the Provence. And I do not have access with Avignon, but I do want to help them out and just get rid of them. There they go. Now they were gone. I didn't want to help, but oh well. See, they abused my troops in fighting those, in trying to get rid of the siege here. And it cost me some guys, which is annoying. Now we have built all our constables, and our yearly tax should have gone up immensely. When you look at this, it will say 125% of the tax value, which is 24.19 we get at the end of the year. So France is giving us 6 extra every single year. Now we'll build 2 more of these in places where it's actually giving us more than 6. It's basically, if it's 6 tax income, it will give us 1.5 ducats every year extra. And with a cost of 48.5, it will take us 33, 34 years to repay those buildings in that specific province, not in every single one. Because, well, Paris pays itself back in, what, 6, 7 years? No, I'm lying. 9 years. Still lying. It's 8 or... Yeah, it's 8 years, I think it is, that Paris pays itself back for building that building. So after 8 years, you start making more money on it. But it also means that you can actually safely have your resource, well, your maintenance of the army at a higher level during the time that it's actually otherwise impossible. Now Orléans, let's see, it's still very unlikely, and it will be so. This time though, they actually gave it to me instead. Now, when a smaller country gives up its independence to enjoy a greater realm, there is a lot of adapting, and while some parts are easy, the administration of the realm will still need to expand to accommodate all possibilities. Well, they accepted it, perfect. So we drop 1 stability, and we're going to see if it needs to... Well, you're losing 1 stability from that event, but we're gaining 1 because of our mission. So our stability is still the same. And now the Duchy of Auvergne. Which one is that? Auvergne. Ah, that would be this one. It wants me to take over the Auvergne. Oh wait, that's a 2-state actually. Well, it simply means we either wait 10 years or we manage to attack them, but as our vassal, we cannot attack them ever. Well, we need to break the alliance first, but we're still vassal, and it will cost us a lot more stability than the one we gain from just annexing them. So we just have to wait another 10 years, which gives us time to get our relationships back up, because it took a 100-point hit when we took over of Orléans, but now France is looking more blue by the year. At one point we will have to go to war with England over these two, as well as Calais, but we can also go to war with Burgundy because of Picardy and Cambrai, and I believe that Artois and Valenciennes are also part of France proper, as are obviously the French Comté, Charolais and Bourgogne, but also Barrois, Metz, Lothringen and Sundgau are also part of current day France, so we still want them, and the Savoy would also be part of it. So France still has a lot of far to go, as well as Roussillon, by the way. It's also, there's one tip which you get, there are hints or tips they give you at the start of a game, and one of them said that by the end of the game Roussillon will be French, basically. Little bit scary maybe. Government tag to 5. Oh, we forgot to switch out of production. So we've just been putting more money into that, which we didn't have to do. So we'll just, it's like 6 or 7 months where we did that. No more actually. A lot more, but still, we want to finish land first, and that will now take us until December 14. That's May 25, October 28, April 51, but trade is our weakest because we don't have any modifiers through advisors. And production is also weak, but obviously we have a small advisor, as well as we funded it for a long time. So, but getting to level 4 in each one is quite important, so you can start getting the first building of every type. It will cost you, you will need level 4 for either of them. And now we get even more free money, so when it comes to money, I think we're good. Getting a lot of events for money. So now we can still build churches everywhere, which is actually quite useful. What does a church do again? Stability cost -4. Well, I can't see the stability cost, but I know that Languedoc has a quite big one. So the more and you will need churches for the building afterwards as well. You always need a building to get the upgraded building, and in this case a courthouse gives you -1 local revolt risk, but you can only have a courthouse as long as you have a church. Spy agency is same, as well as a town hall, which gives you even more tax. Now, when you look at these lines, and these buildings will take a long time before you can make them, you need level 23 for these buildings. But of each of these you can only have one type, so you can only have a level 6 fort and all level 4 buildings of the other types. So you can only have one type, so you can have a college and a cathedral, but you cannot have a college and an arsenal. So it depends. Do you have an area which is very high in taxes? You know, the cathedral is not for taxes, it's for stability cost. Army is obviously more manpower, so it's good in a place where there's lots of people. Naval buildings you can only build on the coast regardless. But basically stock exchange gives you a huge tax increase, as well as the mint, so that would be a very good one to place in Ile-de-France. And if you're a trade nation, you would maybe go for the trade buildings too, so there's a lot of choice to go. But right now what we want is a dock. What a dock does, it gives you production efficiency, and that's decently high actually in Co. You see there's an efficiency of 18%, and with a dock it goes up by 25%. And production efficiency is based on the amount of trade value in the region. You see, we get 18.68 from the goods is our production, and the trade value is just about the same. I think that's it at least. So Anyway, so if we put up a dock in Co, when we can only build one building at the same time in one province, but building a dock will give us a huge boost to our production efficiency here, and buildings are really good in getting that in the beginning at least. So any coastal province with a high production, you will want a dock pretty early on. Like Finisterre doesn't have that high production value, Morbihan not, but Armor would have actually. The thing, yeah, it's about the same as the trade value, just a bit below. But it depends on the goods which you're actually selling there, how useful it is. So Languedoc would actually be a very good one because it has wine, and wine is one of the most expensive ones you can have. So I see we can actually do a slider. Well, I'm trying to keep playing at a quite fast speed so we can get through this decently quickly. Now, what we will probably want to do is, I like innovation, getting our tax faster out there. Other stuff that's very useful is mercantilism, if you want to trade in your own nation and keep that under control, such as we have one center of trade in Ile-de-France. Maybe at one point we'll get the trade center at Antwerp, which is a bigger trade center than Ile-de-France. So, oh, a scandal at the court. So we would either lose prestige or money. Well, right now, we'll lose stability regardless, which sucks. So we'll take the blame and move on. I'm happy with my money. And now we can also look at these here. Now, quality versus quantity should be obvious. Strong army with less people, or a bigger army with less strong people. And I accidentally lowered my chair. That might have been the sound you heard, and that was quite weird and a shock. Basically, land versus naval, better land troops or better ships, but ships are not yet that strong anyway. Changing that in EU4 as well, I think. Trade ships are actually useful as well. You have the 4 types of ships, and I think the light ships are for helping your trade routes be secure, and that's actually going to work very well. In the next edition, offensive versus defensive, well, are you stronger attacking or defending? So mercantilism and free trade, it's basically keeping your own trade or trading in other nations. That would be free trade, getting you. So if you're playing a trade nation such as the Hansa, you would love to get free trade up very high. Innovative, research, narrow-minded, religion. And yeah, France would be a bit more narrow-minded in reality, and Castilla would definitely be completely narrow-minded. Yet on the other hand, England, later Britain, would be more innovative for sure. Serfdom versus free subjects, the way you treat your low class people. Basically, the further you're going to serve them, the cheaper you have in stability cost as well as in infantry and galley cost. But your research modifier goes up quite fast, so your research is more expensive as well as your armies are less effective. So we're probably going to put one into free subjects. Aristocracy versus plutocracy is basically cavalry and diplomatic stuff, so your nobles are happy, versus trade and spies and the other side of those. So a more share of wealth, and centralization versus decentralization. Do you rule from the capital, or do you rule or let more people have power in their own areas? So we are going for free subjects, and we lose another stability, and that's why I do it right now instead of, well, we would have done it anyway, but now we have a drop of 2, so we can just put it the slider of stability up again and just sit it out until it's gone up, and that might be a while. And again, stability, it will cost you revolt risk. It goes up the lower your stability is. You pay more back to your debtors, your merchants. You get less merchants, you get less chance, etc, etc. And most importantly, your tax modifier goes down. So while you are not at full stability, you don't get as much tax as you could get. Now let's see. We could build more docks, but again, the production efficiency is only in armor, but it's not a core yet either. And cores are very important for the tax modifier, because with a core you get a lot bigger tax modifier. See, neighbors would get 25% of the direct tax. Oh no, wait, that's if we build a constable. Direct tax at the end of the year is only 10% because it's not a core, while Nemur is a core, and we would actually get 100% because the 90% bonus of being a core. So constables, you should not yet build them in cities that are not cores. Now, Orléans, well, even though we annexed it, it is considered a core of France. So building a constable there is very effective. And we also build one in Namur as well. So constables are very good for long run. In the end, if you have the money, you want to have all level 4 buildings in every province as fast as possible. And if you're ever looking for, hey, I want to get more buildings out, if the color is blue, it means that you cannot build any more buildings in that province with your current tech level. And the greener it is, the less buildings you can build to fill up. So this light green in Co means I can only build one more building. In armor, this color green, as well as the other 3 Brittany states, it simply means I can build 3 more buildings. And the color differences go much wider range the further you tech up and the further behind some provinces get. So, well, Bara would be a good target, but if we declared war, they are part of the Empire. And you don't want to get steamrolled by the Empire. They are at war they are allied with Burgundy, which would actually be a good one to declare. Ooh, military access, of course. So, I like to fight wars in this game. Okay, so this, oh god. So this is one of the most annoying bits in Europa 3 that I think exists, and that's that nations will start conquering pieces of other nations that are totally illogical. And I've actually seen a Europa 4 preview play where a nation would actually sell a province, because you can sell provinces to other players. Say, Hungary, would you like to buy random province? If you make it cheap enough, they will take it. The problem is they don't sell them. So Castile should sell this piece of Ireland to England, but it won't do that. That's just one of my pet peeves. And you often see that half of Norway has become British, or that Austria has land everywhere, and Castile just rules the Mediterranean as Spain. But they very much fixed that in EU4, and that the AI will actually sell provinces as well. And we have our stability is increased to 2, and I apparently can remove the core of Orléans in Orléans, and this is very good, not because we don't like Orléans, and basically I wouldn't mind having them as a vassal, but the thing is, if there is a core available of a nation that is not you inside of your territory, when you lose a war, the AI can force you to, you might be forced to make one of those nations free, and they would turn against you because the one that won the war has freed that nation from your oppression, so to speak. So removing cores is actually a very good thing. Now the problem is, I could remove the cores of basically Normandy and the Provence in Maine, but the only thing is, you can only do that on any province bordering a national focus. And that is the last thing I will talk about right now. Here we have the capital. The capital is denoted by this little crown. Now the circle around it is the national focus of a country on that particular area, and I think it is at least. Yes, here you see the difference. So while London is the capital and has the little crown, the bigger circlet is on Oxfordshire, which means that if England wants to, it can do stuff in provinces affected by the national focus from surrounding Oxfordshire and not surrounding London, because the default place would always be the capital. And I think they're removing that in EU3. I have not seen it yet. But basically, instead of just Essex, Oxfordshire, Wessex and Kent being affected by the national focus, and the province itself, London as well, now instead of Kent, it has Gloucestershire, Marches, Derby, Lincoln and Norfolk as well. So it can do a lot more. And removing your national focus is quite costly. Let's see if where you can do that again. I have to remember, because that's quite a pain in the ass to do. So national focus, how do you remove you again? Well, it's part of the trade through Ile-de-France. I actually don't remember how to move your national focus. Yeah, here you see, if you want to promote cultural unity and remove cores from a different type of, from a different nation there, you would need it to be affected by your national focus. And now, I'm just wondering where, oh, so this is go to national focus. And at one point you definitely want to formalize the scales, the weights and the measures. Yeah, but for that you also need your capital B affected by the national focus. What's an all-around good thing to have, but okay, I'm gonna end the episode here. I'll try to find out where you change the national focus again, so we can start doing that at the start of the next episode, and maybe start removing some cores down south as well, or we might first get Auvergne annexed, because we will need. So we actually have more cores to focus on from our focus as well. And well, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later.